Lesson for Monday, December 7th. I'm going to go to Canvas, to Biology, click on Biology. On the home screen, you're going to click on Current Lessons. On Current Lessons, you need to be aware that the meet is here, the schedule is here, I have support hours, Tuesday through Friday, link is here, between 10:30 and 11. Here's the final exam schedule, you can click on it. I've also given details this week per breakdown, a little simpler than the exam there. This is the assignments from last week. If you still need to do them, they are open till the 16th. Otherwise, the grade stands as it is. This week, I'm not giving any assignments that are going to require you to gain points. All the points you have are already earned. Here is the key to the study guide. And then I'm actually recording this later in the week. So we need to go down to Monday. Here is Monday. Like I said, I'm not going to give you any additional assignments. Here is the link to the study guide. I'm not having you turn it in, and I'm not going to grade it. You are allowed to use the study guide on the final exam. Here is the final exam PowerPoint help. I did record this for you on Friday, so you can go back to Friday and watch the recorded version of the PowerPoint. However, I'm going to go ahead and move forward in the PowerPoint, breaking it apart. But if you go down to last week, I did the scientific method. I walked you through that, through all the steps, and I also walked you through all the steps for characteristic life. That's because those two areas require you to understand the whole picture, not just parts of the picture. Now that we are into details that you need to know, we're going to get specific and use this to make sure you know what the test is going to ask you. So we're reviewing ecology. If we look here, we're going to see ecology. There's a food web. Food chains are multiple food webs together. So we are looking at a food web. A food web is asked on the final exam. Know how to read a food web and determine the trophic level that the organism is in. These are the trophic levels. You need to know that these are the producers, the autotrophs. All the rest are heterotrophs. Auto means they make their own food. Autotrophs are making their own food. Everyone else is consuming their food. Producers are always on the bottom, so are decomposers. Everything above here it has to have this to consume in order to survive. Primary consumers eat the producers. Secondary consumers eat the primary consumers, and tertiary consumers eat the secondary consumers. Again, remembering there's one more level above here is quaternary, which doesn't show on this graph or on this table or picture, whatever you want to call it. Okay, energy pyramid. So here's a video to help you remember about the energy pyramid. You're welcome to watch that. You need to know how an autotroph and a heterotroph obtain food. We just talked about that. An autotroph obtains their food through the sun. They have organelles, specifically plants have organelles that help capture the sun. It's actually the pigment inside the organelle that captures the sun and turns the energy that the sun makes or helps the plant make into energy the plant can use. And heterotrophs are us, like us. We have to consume our food for our energy. Know how to read an energy pyramid and determine the amount of energy in each trophic level. So the 10% rule is something you need to know, and it will help you remember this too. That these are the trophic levels. We just talked about trophic levels up here, where we said that we have producers on the bottom, primary consumers next, secondary, tertiary. It's like a pyramid. So you see a pyramid here, but this is talking about energy that's passed on from organism to organism. So we have decomposers at the very, very bottom, but we're asking from producers. Producers are the ones who are gaining the energy from the sun. They're the autotrophs. So they gain their energy through photosynthesis. If they are able to obtain the sun's energy and gain 100,000 kilocalories of energy, if the primary consumers eat the producers, then they lose 10% of the producer's energy. So it goes from 100 kilocal to 10,000 kilocal. And then if the secondary consumers eat the primary consumers, 10% is lost again, which gives the secondary consumers 1,000 kilocalories. Same thing here, tertiary consuming the secondary, 10% is lost, leaving 100 kilocalories for the tertiary. If the apex predators or quaternary consume the tertiary, then they lose 10% and have only 10 kilocalories. If we go here, we're talking about population growth. We have key points that you need to know: what causes population growth, and how exponential, and this wasn't meant to be exponential, it should be logistic growth and carrying capacity work. So we're going to talk about that. Carrying capacity is the maximum number of organisms or species that can be in the same space at the same time, competing for the same resources. So here is our carrying capacity in this graph here. There are two types of growth. You have exponential, just like in math, it goes on forever growing. Nothing prevents it from growing. And then you have logistic, which something restricts it. So usually it's predator-prey relationship. So as we accelerate in growth, something makes it level off. That's because the consumption of predator-prey relationship is balanced. If we look at the polar bears, there's an imbalance as they go over. It says overshoot. When they go above the carrying capacity, that means that they have exceeded their relationship with predator-prey, which means that the prey are probably dying off. So then as it dips back down carrying capacity, that's where the polar bears are starting to die off. And then as it goes up, that's when you're getting more prey for the bears to eat, and then so on and so forth. You want to stay at this line or just below, like in this curve here, to be able to maintain your ecosystem properly. You don't want things to die off. You want things to be balanced. Okay, so in class we practiced together the ecosystem or ecology Quizlet, and here is an optional practice that is also listed in the table up here at the top. Whoa, it's way up there. Oops, sorry, it's way up here because I've already done this week so far. But here are the options to do. A couple of these are for bonus. There was one bonus from last week. Okay, these are all things we talked about this week. So we're going to go back to where we were. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so then practice finals, I've given you two. They again are on that table at the top, and those are for bonus 5 points each. And that is all you had to do today. Make sure that you prepare for the final exam by using these resources.